Carabao Cup is back. Man United is hosting Crystal Palace. That is tomorrow at the Old Trafford Stadium. That's where the action is going to be at the floodlights of Old Trafford. Welcome to United Matters channel. How are you guys and who are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash like button, comment and share. If you're really watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. From our win away at Burnley, we come back to obviously fight in for another win at Old Trafford, and we must be geared up because we are the defending champions of the Carabao Cup, and let no one lie to you that we cannot obviously make it to where we want to be. And all I want to let you know is that this is the time that has seen United obviously try to fight back for its name and obvious reputation, and we want to see these players fight up for the badge. But we have to understand that this is the time where Erik ten Hag is going to make what we call ridiculous changes or massive changes, because all things that are really happening right now at Man United are obviously going to do the need for take it to the next level and give us the best that we deserve as a team of Manchester United. Now, when it comes to what we can do right now, it's obviously going into a win at Manchester United. And these next 5 games, I told you that I'm not going to care on how we win them. This is the fact. I'm not going to come here and tell you that we should play sexy football, we should be silky, we should be smooth, we should be flamboyant. This is mission: win our next 5 games. And out of the 5 games, one was won against Burnley, and we are left with Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup in the Premier League, play Galatasaray at Old Trafford, and then play Brentford away from home. That is it. That is it. And that is our assignment. Our assignment is simple. Let's get in these 5 games, win them, calm the atmosphere at Manchester United. The ship of Erik ten Hag would have gone ahead to steady, and no one is going to obviously come through and will step into our way and tell us how bad it's really going to look and be for this side of Manchester United. Now, as it stands, we have to get to know that there are some players who are really injured and they are returnees from injury. Kobe Menu is not expected to be part of this game unless otherwise we're getting a shocker. Luke Shaw, Tyrell Malacia, Amad Diallo, who else? Who else is injured? I think those are the players, and add on the 2 that are really away. Jordan Sancho, because right now he has gone ahead to apologize to Erik ten Hag, and the other player is Anthony, having a case to answer about his sexual harassment on his ex-lover, that is Gabriela. That is him for you. Now, as it stands for United, Mason Mount is back. He trained with the first team today. Sofian Amrabat, you saw him come on and really have a cameo against Burnley. Then Harry Maguire is also back in full training, and he might have a chance to take part into this game of football. When you look at Crystal Palace, they really have a couple of players out, and who is leading the rest? It's Olise. You know him very well. He has an injury, and it has been really longly disturbing him. Then we are having Jefferson Lerma. He's having a thigh injury. Matthias Frank, he's having a back injury. Then Nouri Ahamada is also a doubt, and Osmode Eduardo is having what we call a hamstring injury. So he's having close to 5 players out, and is coming in throughout Manchester United, Old Trafford, when he's really having a problem with his team. Now, allow me to throw you into this predicted starting 11 that I believe Erik ten Hag is going to flaunt to obviously battle on the side of Crystal Palace. And I believe some huge changes are going to be made by the manager, that is Erik ten Hag. Now, when you look at the system that Erik ten Hag is going to play, obviously it's a 4-2-3-1. Though in the midweek he played with a 4-1-3-2, a diamond of that stature. That is it. But I don't believe he's going to come back with the same system. He's going to come back with our pivot because there are certain players he rested that need some playing time. We go to how these players are going to come in through and line up onto the pitch, and we start off with the goalkeeper. Now, we believe that's going to be a debut for Ben Dier. Ben Dier is a player we signed from Fenerbahce and came in through to play for the club of Manchester United, and this is a chance for him to come out and show us exactly what is made up and why he signed for the club of Manchester United. And these are kind of games that he needs to obviously get and play as he prepares for the time whether Andrew Onana is going to be out or in at Manchester United during January when the African Cup of Nations will be taking place in Ivory Coast. That is in the year for the club of Manchester United. Expect him to start in goal. On the right back, because we don't have very many options, I think Ten Hag is going to keep Diego Danilo to play that position because he wants him to obviously play and keep fit to play this beautiful game of football and obviously come on through and take United to the promised land. That is Diego Dallo for you. Now, on the left back, there's some news. Sergio Roglen is injured, but when I've looked through the early team news coming in from the website of Manchester United, amongst the injured players, Sergio Roglen is really out. And Sergio Roglen was not injured, he was just ill, but he told the manager, I want to play for the club of Manchester United, I want to protect the badge and the reputation of this club, and there it is. Now, on the left back, obviously it's going to be Sergio Roglen because you don't have any other left back available, and it's sort of it that he brought on Sofian Amrabat and played as a left back at the club of Manchester United when we are tweaking on a side called Burnley. Now, the right-sided centre-back, I believe Ten Hag is going to give Harry Maguire a go into this game to play some minutes in there for you. And the left side of the central defense, I think it's going to be Rafael Varane because Lisandro Martinez is really one of those that Ten Hag doesn't want to obviously bring in to obviously hurt himself. But if at all Lisandro Martinez is obviously fit, I believe he might come in through and play some minutes into this game, and maybe Rafael Varane will come on through and play the last 30. So it shows you that at least the return of Rafael Varane is going to hit, obviously, see to it that we have lots of numbers in the central defense. Lisandro Martinez, Varane, Lindelof, and Evans. Those four are really great and they can take us through the season as it stands. Now, let's go to the midfield. I believe Sofian Amrabat is getting his first United debut at Old Trafford. That is the full debut. He's going to start into this beautiful game of football alongside who? Alongside Eriksen, into that double pivot, because Eriksen was one of the unused substitutes as United beat Burnley by 1-0. Central attacking midfielder, I believe Mason Mount might come in through and obviously have a go. Or if Mason Mount does not start, Bruno Fernandes might start into that position, and then Mason Mount comes in later to obviously play some 30 minutes into this game. So if Bruno starts into that game, I won't be surprised because he's a man who doesn't really down tools, he doesn't tire down, and he doesn't gas out, meaning that there is a very huge chance for him to obviously come in through and really go to where he deserves to be. Now we go to the right winger, Facundo Pellistri, having been one of the unused substitutes as we took on the side of Burnley. I believe he's going to start into this beautiful game of football. And on the left attacking side of the midfield, Alejandro Garnacho was also not played in the game we played against Burnley and deserves a start to come in through and obviously play into this fixture. And I believe that's how Ten Hag is going to line up this team. Who is leading the line? I don't believe Rasmus Højlund is going to start this time round. It's going to be Anton Martial time to come in through and obviously play some minutes, and then Rasmus Højlund might play the last half an hour of this beautiful game of football. So that is my starting 11 that I believe Ten Hag is going to come in through and obviously flaunt, to come in through and obviously face the side of Crystal Palace. And I think we are winning this one by some 3 goals because we are at Old Trafford, having gotten that win away at Burnley. Nothing else gears up a team like United like that. We've been a wounded lion and we've gone ahead to obviously get some prey, and we need to continue getting more prey, and we need to eat these small animals around us. And Burnley was the first small animal to be eaten, and we are set to obviously go and eat another animal that is small in character though huge in intensity. That is Crystal Palace. But Crystal Palace in their previous game, they went ahead to draw with Fulham 1-1, 0-0 at their stadium. And Dean Henderson was not given a chance to obviously take part into this game. Remember, Crystal Palace signed Dean Henderson for Manchester United on a permanent deal, and he was not in between the stitches. So we anticipate that Roy Hodgson is going to obviously reward him with his first game at Old Trafford as he goes against Manchester United. Now, Anderson, Gehi, are really here. Michel, Dokore, Hughes, Eze. To me, he's one of the deadliest players I've seen into this beautiful game of football. And I think if I'm Erik ten Hag, would have gone ahead to desire to bring that player at the club of Manchester United, because he's really a different kind of player altogether and takes us to where we deserve to be as a club of Manchester United. Now, some will say, why not reward Hannibal with some playing time? I won't be surprised if at all Hannibal is given some playing time, but if Hannibal is plans of Erik ten Hag to start him over the weekend, then he won't start him. He will just bring him on as a substitute. But if Hannibal is not in plans for Erik ten Hag to obviously come in through and play him in the weekend, he might start him. But I believe some players to get minutes are Sofian Amrabat. He's going to get some minutes in. Then, which other guy? Eriksson is going to get minutes. Mason Mount will get minutes. Garnacho will get minutes. Facundo Pellistri will get minutes. Anton Martial will get minutes. Harry Maguire will get minutes. That's it. Varane will get minutes, because this is a kind of game that you have to give them minutes to prepare them for the game of the Premier League. Because for the Premier League game on Saturday, obviously the lineup is going to be totally different. And these are games you're supposed to rest people like Casemiro, you know. He needs to rest like for the entire game. If at all the Amrabats coming through and obviously play very well, that means if we are leading by 3-0, what's the role of bringing on Casemiro? That is it. So this is the time for us to obviously get ready and see to it that we really get this team to where we deserve to be. If we are like 3-0 up, I think you just bring in Donny van de Beek to have a go into that game, right? And rest of other players. Rest Rashford, rest Casemiro, rest Lindelof, and very many others, you know, because we need these players to come in through and play a very huge part into this fixture. Now, I understand Crystal Palace is one of the teams that we beat twice last season at their stadium. Oh, we drew away 1-1, and when they come to Old Trafford, they swallowed. I think that game ended 2-1. I remember that's the game that saw Casemiro really get a red card after rattling the neck of Hughes. That is it. So, in that picture, you obviously understand that such moments are not going to happen anymore, because we are really having lots of players. That shows you the improvement of the squad when some of our players have gone ahead to return. For example, if Amrabat is available in that midfield, you have no doubt about his abilities to obviously play into that central defensive midfield. But we might see Erik ten Hag going in for a strong side. That is it. He might not make the wholesome changes that we anticipate. He might go in for huge. He might go in for a very strong lineup. Like he can get in Varane, Lindelof, and Sergio Roglan plus Dalot. You know, then Amrabat and Casemiro in the double pivot. Eriksson in the central attack midfield role. Then Bruno Fernandes being played onto the right wing. Then he brings in, I think for that Garnacho will start, and Anton Martial. Yeah, he might go in that way, because all he wants is to really put up this consistency. Because if we lose or get knocked out onto Tuesday, that is tomorrow, this will give our haters to obviously go back to Erik ten Hag that the other win that we got away at Burnley was just a blip. It was just a blip. Not a blip, that it was just a one occasion out of the many that was successful, and the many remaining ones are going to be really unsuccessful. So he needs to assert himself into that, because he knows that he needs that chemistry to be built up into his team. And that is all about Erik ten Hag and his team. But my prediction, 3-0 at Old Trafford. I believe that win is going to have to fire us up. The media is not going to have to slate us anymore, and you're giving them a vibe that no one is even thinking about. So let's wait and see how that pans out. But I believe it's really going to be a very hard-fought win, because we need to win this game. And even if he goes for his first strong team and we really register 2-3 goals in the first half, then he starts to make changes at half-time. That will act well for us, because even the team we are facing, that is Crystal Palace, is also having injuries, you know. And the Carabao Cup might not be that fixture they're obviously geared up to face for, if at all they are looking through to survive for the Premier League. The Premier League is the priority, and I think they're really going to have a very huge game over the weekend, and they cannot obviously spend all their energies to us, because over the weekend they're also coming back at Old Trafford to play us again. So they need to find themselves in a mode to really keep going and not waste their calories at the club of Manchester United. So I really anticipate that we are obviously going to bring up the best of our game to obviously face this side of Crystal Palace and give them a beating that they deserve. And this is how God loves Ten Hag. When I told you that Ten Hag is a very lucky manager, these are situations that refer to him as a very, very lucky manager. For example, I can show you how unlucky Pochettino is. Can I really drill a little bit into that? When you look at Pochettino, he's having a very horrendous season at Chelsea. You know, Chelsea are no longer the juggernaut they were. However much they brought in very many huge players, and we anticipated that they're going to be the juggernaut, but that juggernaut has not gone ahead to work out, because right now they lie 14th onto the Premier League table. That is it. After lying 14th on the Premier League table, they've gone ahead and obviously have a very tight fixture. On Wednesday, they are playing Brighton in the Carabao Cup. On Monday, they are playing Fulham away. Then they play Burnley away. Now, look at this fixture. After the international break, they have to play Arsenal. They host Arsenal. They play Brentford. They play Tottenham Hotspur. They play Man City, and they play Newcastle now, and Brighton. Then Manchester United. So, if you look at this fixture, it shows you that if he happens to really lose these games, he's going to be sacked. But for Erik ten Hag, his next 5 fixtures has gone ahead to win one of those. And he has Crystal Palace. If we beat him in that double header, then that will give him a very huge call to obviously see us winning this beautiful game of football. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. That has been my predicted starting 11 and my thoughts about this game about Crystal Palace. More is yet to come on this channel. Don't forget to subscribe. I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rock and David remains my name. The Muslim viewers and subscribers, Barak Lau Fikum. I'm out, my